Hello and welcome back to day 2 of Improve Your Kizomba in 10 days. Today we are going to be addressing this tapping closing action that we use in basic 2, basic 3, and also pretty much ending all figures in Kizomba. This is another action, just like in the last video, that we don't commonly use in other dances, which is why it is important to know how to do it correctly, because the knowledge doesn't necessarily transfer from one dance to another, okay? So let's get into how to do this action properly. The first thing we have to do, and I know this is gonna sound like overly simplifying it, is relax. We need to try not to overemphasize this action in the beginning. We really just need to try to get into a flow with it so that it feels nice and natural. And I'm going to show you just how to do that. So we're going to be applying this to basic 2 today. I really think like that's the best way to practice this action, and then you can start to apply it in other areas of your Kizomba. So basic 2 is side, together, side, together, side, together, side, together. So for me, this is a closure. We can also call it a tap, because a tap is technically, putting the foot down on the ground, but not transferring my weight to it. The thing in Kizomba is we are gently transferring our weight to it, not completely, but adding like maybe 5% of our weight onto that foot and then lifting it back off. So it is in between a step and a tap, okay? And as such, I am not going to move my hip fully like I would if I were doing a full weight transfer. So the first step of basic 2, I will do that. And then when I bring the feet together, I'm gonna just bring the hips back into neutral and then return them to where they just were. So I'm gonna go over, hips in neutral, and back to where they were. So I'm pressing. This is when I add that 5% of weight onto that foot, and then I bring it back onto the standing leg. So we go over, press, release. And then same thing on the other side. And just like we worked on last time, when I step here, no need to change the hips. They're already where they need to be. Step and press, release. And so when I'm pressing, I'm not bringing the hip all the way over to the other side. I'm coming up into neutral and then releasing back to the original side. And I go step, press, release, step, press, release, step, press, release. And you do not have to totally straighten that leg when you're pressing either. Like I said, this should be a nice relaxed action so that we can get into the flow with our partner with the music. So when I do this, step, press, release, you see I'm not going to a fully extended knee. That's not the vibe. Step, press, release, step, press, release, step, because I'm only putting 5% of my weight on that foot. Even though I've got the whole foot on the ground, I am not doing this. This is a common mistake that people make when I tell them to press into the ground. They're like, okay, press. And they do a full step, which then turns it into something else. It's not a full step. It's a press and release. Press, release. Press, release. That's a good thing to practice. If you're having trouble not stepping, staying on one leg, pressing into the ground, and then releasing. And then we can do that on the other side. Press, release. Press, release. Press, release, press, release. Okay? We're going to do the same thing going back and forward. So we're going to go step, press, release. Step, not shifting the hips because they're already where they need to be. Step and press, release. Step and press, release. Step, press, release. Step, press, release, step, press, release, step, press, release, okay? The one other thing I want you to understand about this action before we do it with music is the timing of it. So I'm not going 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, and 8. No, I'm going 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and. Okay, so the tap happens a little bit later than our body wants to do, and being ahead in this is a very common issue. So when you're counting it in your head, I do want to force you to count it 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and. You see how much time I spend in this transition before I bring the legs together? That's something that I want you to take into account as well. Same thing going back. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1. Okay? So we're going to do that 8 times side to side, 8 times back and forward. We'll repeat that sequence a few times now with music. When we start, we're going to start with half time just to make sure that we have the dynamic with the music, and then we will go into real time.
Thank you so much for watching. It means more to me than you know. Don't forget to subscribe so we can keep this going together. And when you're ready to go deeper with me, everything is waiting for you in the description below. You can join my Patreon community for exclusive weekly content, explore the dancer method if you're ready to transform the way you move and live, or come dance with me in person on one of my Mexico retreats. There's something for everyone at every level, wherever you are in your journey, and I would love to have you. See you soon.